Hi, welcome to Core Report. So today I'm going to take you off the mat and bring you on the Reformer. So I heard that you may be interested in taking Reformer classes in a studio nearby you, but you're a little intimidated by the machine. So today I'm going to give you a very brief rundown of the machine so it doesn't feel as intimidating when you walk in. I will say, if you're coming into a class, especially signing through ClassPass, it will let the instructor know that you are new. You get a green star right next to your name. We're aware of it. We know you're new. We're going to treat you with gentle hands. We're going to be kind to you, so don't be too nervous. But we will give you a quick rundown, especially at our studio, but most studios near you will do the same. So typically what I say to people when they come in, because I have an Allegra 2, which is a certain reformer from Balanced Body, our foot bar adjusts for height. So I'll typically ask you how tall you are, and I will do the adjusting. Most studios should be doing the adjusting on these machines just because the foot bar is a little testy. But if you have to do it yourself, I will show you how. So what we mean by that is that there are these prongs on each section of the reformer, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This guy right here will tell you what number you're on. Because I am taller, I typically like a 1. But if you are anywhere between 5, 2, and below, you would like between a 2 and a 1. All right, so coming over to the machine, these guys are a little testy sometimes, so typically an instructor would adjust it for you. What we do is we grab both sides of the foot bar, we lift it up, which takes it out of its hinge. We can now move that foot bar all the way out and all the way in. If you listen closely, you can hear the clicking. That is telling you when it's locked into the slot. So pushing it all the way back to the last one, and then we're going to lift it up slightly and bring it back at that high diagonal. Bar does adjust in different ways as well. So this is the high diagonal position. It also comes down slightly lower for certain exercises, as well as comes all the way out. So that way we can wedge our box in between here, or do any other type of exercise where we don't want the bar in the way. All right, bringing you over to the machine, I'm going to give you just a very brief rundown of each part of the machine, just so you hear the names for the first time and it feels a little bit more comfortable once you're in person. So right here is your standing platform. In certain exercises, you could be placing your feet on there or you could be placing your hands on there. Above it is your safety strap. This is going to be to tuck your feet or your hands sometimes in certain exercises. Down here, we have our spring settings. All studios are different, but for our studio here, we have green, red, blue, and yellow. The reason why I did it in that order is it goes from weight. So green is extra heavy, red is heavy, and blue is medium, and yellow is light. With those settings, typically in the class, the instructor will tell you what setting to be on. So they could say, 1 blue and 1 red, which means you take this spring, pop it forward, release it down. Take this one, pop it forward, drop it down. That way you're on that 1 blue, 1 red. Also on some machines, we have these back prongs. This will just create more tension on these springs to bump it back and put it onto the back prongs. That will create more resistance in those springs when you're moving the carriage out and coming back in. You over here, what I was sitting on earlier is your carriage. Sometimes in class, an instructor will call it a mat as well. The carriage is typically where you see most of the reformer videos that I post or other instructors post. Behind here, we have our shoulder rest. So when you're lying on your back, your shoulders will be pushed up against these, as well as sometimes you will have your knees lined up with them or your feet. Lying down all the way on your back, your shoulders will be in line with those shoulder rests. Pressed up against it with your head down, and your feet come onto that foot bar wherever we decided to put it earlier in class. Tucked here behind each shoulder rest is your straps. So when you grab your straps, you just want to pull them out, unwedge them from here, and bring them up to your hands or to your feet. We will get into that on a later date. I will give you a heads up. Pulling the straps out from behind your shoulders is a little tricky the first few times, so don't beat yourself up over it if you struggle a little bit. Everyone does. It is perfectly normal. On your carriage, you have a headrest. So for certain exercises, if it feels better for your body, you take this prong here and you lift it, and you can lift the headrest up. Or you drop it back down if that feels better for your body. Right here in this empty space is your well. So sometimes we will stand in the well, and on the outside of the well are your white runners. Sometimes we grab onto the white runners for some back exercises, as well as back here where we have pegs. The pegs are what are using the pulleys to pull the straps forward and back to help create that resistance with those springs in the front of the machine. And then we have another standing platform back here, which we can use sometimes when we are planking or doing certain exercises on the back of the machine. And lastly, for your introduction to the machine, we have the box. So some reformers come with the boxes and some studios may not have them, but if you do have a studio with them, we call it short box or long box. What that means is short box can go over the shoulder rest and lying horizontally, meaning it's short way, meaning that it's covering only half of the carriage. Sometimes you could also lift up the box and put it in front of those shoulder rests, giving you a better angle here, meaning it'll go in front of those shoulder rests so it's pushed up against them in case you're putting any weight towards the back of the reformer. Also, if you are 5'2" or shorter, you may prefer having your box in front of the shoulder rests at all times for all exercises. And lastly, we have our long box. So we can take up the box and place it over those shoulder rests, covering the entire carriage. If you were putting it in the long box way, you want it on top of those shoulder rests and pull forward as much as you can bring it forward, so that way it's nice and secure. So we have my assistant with me today, but thank you guys so much for joining me. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment below. I'm happy to answer them. This was just a very brief introduction. When you walk into your local studio, it won't feel as intimidating. You'll feel a little bit more at ease. But just remember that we are, as instructors, are here to help you. We want you to leave with a positive experience. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.